Okay, guys, welcome once again to Philosophy Online Lecture, and we are still on value inquiry. And in this video, we're talking about justice, the concept of justice, the types of justice, and some scholar views on justice. Now, justice implies being fair or the state of being just. It implies doing something appropriate according to nature or in a way in which they ought to be. Now, justice is a very important part of the society. It doesn't deal alone with ensuring that everyone is equal. It also has to do with the fact that when it comes to offenses, everyone is punished equally according to their offenses. Now, in justice, okay, let me give you another definition of justice to Thomas Aquinas. To Thomas Aquinas, justice is a firm and a constant will to give everyone their dues. That is, justice has to do with ensuring that everyone are treated equally. Now, justice has to do with equality, like I mentioned earlier, and anything that implies an opposite of this, that is inequality, is simply injustice. Now, to the liberal societies, that is those who have the idea of liberalism, they see justice as an important part, and it means they established a liberal system for the respect and protection of the right of every individual. Now, this is an extent at which justice is needed in the society to ensure that there is respect and protection of the rights of every individual. Now, we have two major types of justice for this discussion. We have the distributive justice and the retributive justice. Now, the distributive justice has to do with the comparative treatment of individuals, that is the equal treatment of individuals, and then the just allocation of resources, that is the equal allocation of resources. Now, retributive justice, on the other hand, deals with the a system of criminal justice in which the uh, opined or the seek punishment for offenders of the law rather than correction or rehabilitation. That is retributive justice, that is to retribute. Now, for this discourse, we are going to be taking at a look on various scholastic view on justice. Now, after this, we are going to be discussing two major ones, and then that is the view of Karl Marx and then John Rawl on justice. Now, firstly, we have here the commutative justice. Now, commutative justice has to do with the demand for the respect of others and the exchange of things of equal value. That is, in commutative justice, there has to be respect for others in the society, and everyone must get things of equal value. Now, this commutative justice can be violated when there is denial of the right of individuals in the society, or destruction of property, or theft, or fraudulent activities, and so on. Now, we also have the legal justice, and this legal justice demand that every observer of the law in the society take the common good more important than their own private or individual interest. Now, that is legal justice. That is, the common good, the good of the whole society, is much more important than a self good, or a private interest. Now, that is the on legal justice. And they are also went further to say that the common good should not, on no occasion, be sacrificed or traded for private interest. Now, we also have the vindicative justice in the scholastic view. Vindicative justice has to do with punishment for offenders of the law, and then this punishment for their offense is not out of vengeance, but for the good of the society, for the society to know that this thing is actually wrong and is not tolerated and is not seen as a value in the society. Now, and they also went on to imply that every punishment must be according to the offense in which that person or such person has committed. Now, there is also the distributive justice, which demand equal distributions of the goods of the society. Now, in this part, we look at there's also the justice of fairness. Also, and this is the part where we'll talk about John Rawl and then Karl Marx. Okay, starting from John Rawl sees justice as fairness, as he sees justice as equality. To him, equality is equal to justice, and he also opines that there are enough resources in the society that can be used to cater for every need of every individual in the society. And they also emphasized on the importance of social cooperation and as a necessary aspect for citizens to live a decent life. As a social cooperation is very, very important in terms of input and also what you get from your input. Now, he was against classism or any form of differences among individuals. He was of the opinion that there shouldn't be rich and poor. He even said there shouldn't be male and female. There shouldn't be basis of uh, dividing people to racial lines and so on. So he spoke against classism. He also said that citizens shouldn't get more than the benefits of social cooperation because of their status. That is, because either you are white, you shouldn't get more benefits of the efforts put together by everyone in this society just because of your status. Now, for example, in the Nigerian society, you shouldn't get more benefits because you are the son of or daughter of a political elite. Eh, as the son of a political elite and those who are children of the poor people, all of you are to get same thing. Now, this is what he's trying to say. Now, he said that all social goods are to be distributed equally, and in a case when there won't be equality in the distribution of the social goods, we must ensure that it is to everyone's disadvantage. That is, he said that all social goods must be distributed equally. Now, when there won't be equality, it shouldn't be at a disadvantage to some people and advantage to some people. It should be at a disadvantage to everyone. Now, he said that since citizens are fundamentally equal to each other, then justice, the idea of justice, can be based on this, on the fact that everyone is equal. Now, that is how we can actually dictate what is just, what is fair. Now, he emphasized on the point that when the goods that are produced cooperatively should be divided equally. Now, the effort of every individuals in the society should be divided equally. Now, he to him, justice requires the benefit of good to those who have the least. That is, in distributive and justice, in equality, there should be more benefits to those who are less privileged. And that is what we actually mean by justice as fairness. That is ensuring that the person with the who is in the least position gets more. The person who is in the least position gets more. That is, the less privileged gets more. I'm going to shed more light on this subsequently now. So him seeing he in talking about his principles on justice is divided into two. The first one is that a liberty to one is a liberty to all. That is, what is essential to one person is essential to every other person in the society. Now, this affirm a claim that everyone should have the same basic rights and liberties. That is, everyone should have the same fundamental human rights, the freedom of association, the freedom of speech, the freedom to vote and to contest. There is nothing like maybe this person is not liable, is not qualified. No, everyone has the right to take part in everything in the society. And the fact that you are poor doesn't mean that you can't influence politics. Politics shouldn't be influenced by the fact that some people are rich and some people are not, like the one we witness in our society today. No, everyone should be involved in the society. Everyone having the same basic rights and liberties. Now, to in the second aspect, the second principle is based on our social and economic life, and this is social and economic inequality. And this social and economic inequality are meant to satisfy two conditions. Now, the first condition is that uh, there will be fairness in equality of opportunity. That is, everyone will get access to equal opportunities in terms of position, in terms of office, like jobs, like appointments and everything. Now, that is firstly. And then secondly, that there will be concern about the equality of opportunities. Now, the the second condition that the social and economic inequality is meant to satisfy is that it is meant to be to the greatest benefit of the less privileged. Now, when we say it is to be the greatest benefit of the less privileged, we're talking about justice as fairness, and justice as fairness regulates distribution of wealth and income in the society. And although he opines that there might be economic inequality, that is, some people might have more than some, but the fact that some people have more than some should be to the advantage of everybody in the society, especially the less privileged. Now, in a situation where some people are privileged to get more, there it is not meant to favor themselves alone. It is to favor everybody and especially the less privileged. So that is what he's saying here. That is justice as fairness to Karl Marx, sorry, to John Raw. So that is that on John Raw. We uh, learned about his idea of justice, the need for social cooperation in order to for everyone to live a decent life, is criticism of classism, and that justice is based on the fact that everyone has fundamental equal rights in the society, and the fact that an opportunity for one is an opportunity for all. If I have a liberty, then everyone has a liberty. There is no point that maybe you are in one position that is greater than mine. We can both contest for political offices. We can both influence decisions, and we also have the same freedoms: freedom of association, speech, vote, and so on. Now, also that although there might be inequality, but it should be meant for the advantage of everybody, especially the less privileged. So that is that on John Raw. And then next, we want to take a look at Karl Marx. Yes, Karl Marx. Now, talking about Karl Marx, his own idea of justice is under distributive justice, and this distributive justice has to do with the uh, equal distribution of every the goods of the society according to the works in which have been put by the members or individuals in the society. Now, to Karl Marx, justice implies everyone work and get a reward or a fair proceed from their labor. That is, when you put in effort in production, you get a reward for the effort in which you have put in. Now, to him, fair distribution are those legitimate claims from the laborer that they get from doing what they labored to do. And when these legitimate claims, that is, when their uh, request is being denied, then justice is being denied because actually they have worked to for the through social cooperation to produce the goods of the society, and so they must get a reward for the effort in which they have put into this. Now, the Marx theory of justice also implied that the burden and benefits are distributed equally. Now, this means that it is when we are talking about distributive justice, we are not talking alone about the common goods, like the benefits alone. Now, when it comes to work, to work should be distributed, and it is the amount of work you put in that is what is going to determine the amount of good you are going to get. That is the amount of benefits you are going to get. Now, okay, so that is why Karl Marx also frowns at capitalism. Yes, he frowns at capitalism because capitalism is a means of exploitation. You know, capitalism takes the private interest above the interest of the society. You know, when we talk about capitalism, we mean some few people owning the means of production and controlling it. Now, so many people will work under them, but they are the ones who are going to get the larger share. Now, this to Karl Marx is very, very unfair. It is it is seen as exploitation, and he also termed them as robbers. Now, so he was of the opinion that capitalism should be abolished totally, not that it should be adjusted, but it should be abolished totally because it leads to poverty and classism. Classism, yes. Now, the capitalists exploit the benefit of the common good of the people. Now, so this is why capitalism should be abolished for what? For communism. Now, it is only through communism in which a system where everybody are involved in production and there's a general ownership of the production of the whole society. This is the only way we can ensure justice because there will be fairness in the distribution of the works and then the goods of the society. Now, so that is that on Karl Marx. Now we have come to understand that Karl Marx principle of justice is based on what? Distributive justice. That is his idea on justice. That is fair and equal distribution of the proceed from the labor in which people have put into the production of the goods of the society, and then that if your right to those things in which you have put effort to add is denied, then justice is actually denied. And also it is not only the goods that are distributed, the works also are distributed, and you get according to the effort in which you are putting to those work. Now that is what we term as a distributive justice. And capitalism is seen as what? Capitalism is seen as injustice. Injustice, as it is only concerned about private interest over the public interest. So that is that on justice generally. Thank you so much for listening.